Bryan Bresee was one of the most highly touted players coming out of high school football ever signed by Dabo Sweeney or the Clemson program in the history of this school. And he is now declared for the NFL draft after a nice career with the Clemson Tigers. We got Jason Priester on the line from allclemson.com to just kind of outline this decision and Bryan Bresee's career at Clemson. Jason, we just got the news.
Yeah, Bresee has announced this morning or this afternoon that he is NFL bound. To me, I always thought this was a no-brainer decision. He's a projected first round pick, has been for a while. Number one recruit coming in out of the 2020 class. Has had a rough couple of years at Clemson, though. Tore the ACL last year, had to deal with the death of his sister this year. Came back from that, had a kidney infection, put him in the hospital, gained a bunch of weight. Fluid weight, had to shed that. So it's been a rough couple of years for him. Kind of sounded like he was at least considering coming back at one time. I was told he was really struggling with the decision. But when you're a projected first-round draft pick, that's a lot to risk to come back for another season at the collegiate level. You're just one injury away from that's a lot of money on the line. You're one injury away from losing it all. So, again, kind of a no-brainer decision for me.
Stats for a defensive lineman don't necessarily tell the story, but at the same time, we've got 51 total tackles in 3 seasons, 15 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks. Really jumped off the page in the first season. Obviously, didn't get as much attention from offensive lines and offensive coordinators at that point, even though he was a stud recruit. He was one of the top rated recruits in the history of this program.
Oh, yeah, he was probably in the top 5, right there behind Trevor Lawrence, probably. But after the death of his sister and then dealing with the illness, it took him a while to get back into game shape. He just didn't look like quite the same guy, and we really started to see him round back into form in Charlotte, and then again in Miami. I thought those were probably 2 of his better games of the season. I can't imagine what he's played with the past 2 years, though, with the distractions from his sister. It's just something, it's an ordeal that no kid that age should have to go through. But then after that, you come back, you're trying to get back, and then you get sick and you put on all this weight, and it just seems like everything's going against you. I can't imagine what he's been dealing with. But coming back, to me, too much to risk. A lot of money on the line for these kids. That's if you're a first round pick, I think you've got to go. That's just me. That's just my opinion. And I think he is without question a first round pick, probably in the top half of the first round. He's got that kind of next level potential.
Yeah, if you followed the Clemson games in the broadcast, you at least got an idea of what he was dealing with in regards to just trying to, besides all the emotions and the mental toll that it takes, and you see your sister passing away, and then in addition to that, just the time management of trying to be with her, spend time with her, flying back, coming back and forth, trying to, keep his position on the team, and not that he's losing his position, but in regards to just reps and all of that, it was just an enormous burden for him.
There's no telling how much practice time he missed over the season dealing with that stuff, then trying to get back after being sick. I think I heard he put on upwards of 30 pounds of fluid weight at one time. So, I mean, that's a lot of weight to have to try and shed. It's just been a terribly rough season for him. And he's still going to leave here as a first-round pick. I think that says a lot about his talent level. And nobody's been a better ambassador for Clemson than Bryan Bresee.
The number 1 rated defensive tackle in his class of 2020, the number 1 rated player in the state of Maryland, and number 1 rated overall. And according to 247 Sports, he's the 18th highest rated player in history
of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Jason Priester, allclemson.com. Get more on the entire Clemson football program and check out the other videos here, the voice of college football. And again, Jason's at allclemson.com. Jason, we appreciate you laying down the word on Bryan Bresee's decision.
As always, my pleasure, Mark. Appreciate you having me on, bud.